name's Colin. I am the Wrights Home Hardware Manager in Forest. I mention that for a good reason, because I want to make a toast personally to a lassie. And it's one of my colleagues who died on Tuesday. She passed away suddenly. So I'm starting with here's to Teresa. Of course my glass is empty now. Do you ever wonder what a man keeps in his spurring? You've got it.
Okay.
I'll keep us going. I don't know how many toasts I'll get through. I might mention all the lassies by name. Teresa, who died on Tuesday, she liked a bit of gossip. And she liked a blather. You know what a blather is? She liked to talk. Like most women do. Scientific fact, by the way. Women speak 21,000 words a day. Men only speak 7,000. That's 3 times as much, ladies. So don't be sitting there going, oh. In fact, you'll see it reflected. You've already seen it reflected. Margot was up here. Well done, Margot. It was beautiful. But you did talk quite a bit. I've no doubt when Karen comes up shortly, she too, we have 4 pages. I'm only going to 1. We'll have lots to say. So it's just a scientific fact that you women like to blather. But there's a difference. You know, let me just mention, blathering was a sport. It would always be a lady that would be world champion. Now, sometimes it's just the subtlety of language that's different. For example, man says to a woman, "How are you?" She says, "Fine." Well, you know what that means, ladies, don't you? Well, the men should know what it means. It's time to run. She's anything but fine. If she says, "Go ahead," that means don't you dare. So there's this subtlety of language, and it goes the same way for men, to be honest. You know, a man can say, "We'll talk about it later." What he actually means is, "I never want to hear about this later." It's a finito. And you may recognise this one, ladies. The man says, "I know exactly where I am. It's the GPS that's wrong." That means you're lost. And that's the kind of differences you've got between men and women. Of course, it's not just subtlety of language. There are, no matter what scientists say today, there are biological differences. And I'm not talking about the tinky winky and the foo-foo. Biological differences between eyeballs. Eyeballs, there's a big difference between a man and a woman. I'll give you an example. A man looks in the mirror and says to himself, "Still got it." In fact, whenever I look in the mirror, I shout out, "You're YWLM." And Laura repeats, what was that you said? She said, "You're one lucky woman." A woman looks in the mirror with a completely different set of eyeballs. And she goes, "I look fat. I look okay in this." So there's a difference between man and woman. Fashion. Men obviously have better fashion sense. It's obvious, because a woman will come to a man and say, "How do you look in this?" But you just need to look at me. I dressed myself tonight. Great fashion sense. Women, however, in the sporting arena, I've shown men, because let's take football for example. Now look at the English football team. You know, the men in the English football team, they get to the European Cup and immediately start singing, it's coming on, it's coming, it's coming on. And then they get beat in the final by penalties. The women get into the European Cup final and they just bring the ball home. No singing, no dancing, just bring the ball home. Anyway, short speech. Remember, 3 times less. I wrote a wee poem, so I'm going to stop havering and get on with it. And, you know, Burns he's all right. But then there's me. I stand here the night to raise a glass and make a toast to those in the room we all like the most. What used to be called the fairer sex, lassies, quines, and the Yorick tent. But nowadays are the warriors, the heroines, the stronger and better than men. The big strong woman for the Amazonian race, to the wee cute lassies with her beautiful face. Fishwifeys, aunties, nieces, sisters and mothers, the real backbones of all the fathers and brothers. Amazing women in sports and athletics, even in the men's arena they can compete. Powerful professional women, even young women that work on the street. The birthers of wains and raisers of families. When it comes to life, they're the glue. Well, he's lying under his blanket with another bad case of man flu. I have to confess that all my heroes have been women all through my life. It's my sister Teresa, she didn't give a fuck. My auntie Nan, she was mental. My ma, a strong wee Glasgow woman. And then there's Laura. Would you stand with me now and all raise your glasses, turn to one another and say, to all the bonny lassies.
Bonnie Lassies.
What a nice 10 year lovely man.